grew up rich. When did you realize you were living in a bubble and not like everyone else? I thought every kid had their birthdays planned by event coordinators until I was 13. Every April, my parents would rent out country clubs or these fancy rooftop venues downtown. They'd hire magicians, ice cream trucks, face painters, and once even this guy who brought parrots that could talk. I'm talking like 60 kids from school showing up, tables covered in those fancy cloth things, and waiters walking around with little appetizers on trays. But here's the weird part. None of the kids ever stayed long. Like, they'd show up, eat some cake, watch the magic show for maybe an hour, then their parents would collect them and they'd leave. And nobody ever brought me actual presents. Just these white envelopes that my mom would grab and stuff into her purse before I could even see what was inside. I didn't think it was strange back then. I figured that's just how birthdays worked. The envelopes probably had money or gift cards or something, right? And maybe other kids just had smaller parties because their parents weren't as organized as mine. Then in 7th grade, this kid Jake from my math class invited me to his birthday party. I was actually pretty excited because Jake was cool and I wanted to be friends with him. My mom dropped me off at this public park, and I was confused because there was no valet or anything, just regular parking spots. When I found Jake's party, my brain basically short-circuited. There was one folding table with a plastic tablecloth, hot dogs cooking on this little portable grill, and a cooler full of sodas. No servers, no fancy decorations, just balloons tied to the table legs. And get this, there was one soccer ball. That was it for entertainment. But all the kids were laughing their heads off. They were playing tag, kicking the soccer ball around, and having these intense conversations about video games and TV shows. Everyone had wrapped presents, actual gifts in colorful paper with ribbons and stuff. Jake opened each one and got genuinely excited about things like Pokemon cards and a new skateboard. The party lasted 4 hours. 4 hours, and nobody wanted to leave. Parents had to literally drag their kids away because it was getting dark. I kept waiting for the real entertainment to start, but this was it. And somehow, it was the most fun I'd ever had at a birthday party. When my mom picked me up, I was buzzing with energy. I couldn't stop talking about how different it was, how the kids actually seemed to like being there. That's when I asked her something that had been bugging me. Mom, how come nobody ever gives me real presents at my parties? Just those envelope things? She looked at me in the rearview mirror like I'd asked her why the sky was blue. Honey, you don't need toys. You have everything already. Those envelopes have checks for your college fund. But Jake got a skateboard and he looked so happy. Oliver, your father spent $8,000 on your last party. Do you think Jake's parents spent $8,000? That's when it hit me. Like, really hit me. My parties weren't actually for me. They were these weird networking events where my dad's business partners brought their kids and wrote checks to stay on his good side. The kids left early because they were bored out of their minds by the fancy stuff. They wanted to run around and be stupid, not watch some guy make balloon animals while wearing a tuxedo. I started paying attention to other things after that, like how when kids talked about weekend plans, they mentioned going to the movies or the mall. When I talked about weekend plans, it was always some charity gala or dinner party with my parents' friends. Other kids complained about chores and allowances. I had never done a chore in my life because we had housekeepers, and I got money whenever I asked for it. The worst part was realizing that all those kids at my expensive parties probably thought I was some spoiled rich kid who didn't appreciate anything, which, honestly, I kind of was. I had never even thought about how much things cost or where money came from. It just appeared when I needed it. When I turned 14, I asked my parents if I could have a small party, just like 10 friends, pizza, and maybe we could go bowling or something. My mom looked horrified. Bowling? Oliver, what would people think? What people? It's my birthday. Your father's colleagues, the other parents. We have a reputation to maintain. So I got another fancy party with another rented venue and another pile of envelopes from people I barely knew. But this time I actually watched the other kids' faces. They looked as bored as I felt.